I'm Rachel Chong, and I'm the founder and CEO of Catch a Fire. It's an online platform that connects nonprofits to people who want to volunteer their skills. So people in marketing and finance and technology and social media, you name it. These are folks who have incredible skills and talents and who actually want to volunteer them, and so we match them up to the nonprofits that need that help. There are so many people who want to give in a smarter way, in a way that actually utilizes the best of who they are, not just, for instance, I was a banker, and the only thing that my firm allowed me to do was go build a house, and that's kind of a ridiculous thing. I'm 5'2", 110 pounds, and I mean, how impactful am I going to be in building a house? And so I'm not the only one who thinks like that. I think that there's a lot of generous people, and to your point, they're just not finding easy ways to connect to the organizations that need their help. And so when you can't find it, I mean, how are you going to give it? And so we're making it easy for people to find that. And a stat that you might be interested in is that LinkedIn has 238 million users, and maybe that is already old at this point. Maybe it's like 240 million. But of that, 82% of them want to volunteer. We have to figure out how to create enough projects, enough well-structured, skills-based projects for them to find and then for them to do, and that's the biggest challenge. There's a lot of need. There's nearly 2 million nonprofits in the United States, and nonprofits, like companies, have needs, operational needs that help keep the lights on. But the challenge is helping them articulate those needs into these clear, nice, bite-sized pieces so that somebody who wants to volunteer can actually give 30 hours of their time, 20 hours of their time. Because the last thing that a busy person wants to do, I think the reality is the last thing that they can do is to say, yes, I'm going to volunteer for you forever. Like, that doesn't work. So we have to structure these projects into bite-sized pieces so that people can actually commit to doing them. I think the most surprising thing to me has been how generous people are. That sounds like a crazy thing for somebody who has built an entire company on people's generosity. But my perspective coming in was, people should do this. This is logical. It's good for their resume. It feels good. But I didn't believe in altruism. I thought that people do things and they make strategic decisions to do good things for the world, and that's fantastic. But they were doing good things for the world because it served something that was self-interested, like it makes me feel good, or it helps with my resume. But in building this company and meeting thousands, and there's tens of thousands of people who are using Catch a Fire, I have learned over and over again that people are really doing this because they just believe that it's the right thing to do and they really want to give back, and that's so powerful. So our role in the partnership between MTV and this great nonprofit called Center for Employment Opportunities, CEO, was figuring out how to get the two together. And that's what we do. We do that with individuals and nonprofit organizations, and in this case we did it with a company and a nonprofit. And without us, they wouldn't have found each other. The simplified version is we're a matchmaker. The more complex version is we actually did a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure that MTV and the people on that team that were working with this nonprofit CEO were actually prepared to do a good job with them and to understand their point of view. Nonprofit and for-profit work very differently in many circumstances, and so we did everything from helping to scope the project, meaning to help define what the scope of work would be, the timeline on it. We helped to project manage a lot of it, but again, behind the scenes, that was our job. And really what our job, if we do our job well, it's just MTV and CEO working together. And that's what happened, because they were two really great partners. CEO is an amazing nonprofit that is extremely professional, and MTV brings great talent to the table, so it was a good fit. We will also continue to help forward the movement, which is to help companies take corporate social responsibility to the next level, and make it truly authentic. And it's really authentic when your employees are actually doing work for organizations, nonprofits that are your partners. So I think the wave of the future is that, maybe it's in 5 years, maybe it's in 7. I think it's in a pretty short period of time that you're going to see that it's normal for companies to allow their employees, not only to allow, but to enable, to empower their employees to give back the skills that they're learning in those jobs to nonprofits in the community, because it's a win-win for everybody. It's great for the company because it's good for the employees, it's great for the nonprofit, obviously, which means it's great for the community, and so everybody wins in that equation.